G'day everybody, let's just see if we are live. G'day YouTube, Max right here. Go ahead, let me know in the comments that you're seeing me, hearing me. Want to make sure this stream is coming across live and well. If you're watching the replay, you can go ahead and skip about 2 minutes. I'll get properly started in about 2 minutes, but for the next 2 minutes I just want to say hello to people, make sure you're seeing and hearing me. And yeah, we'll just get the lay of the land here a little bit. See if people are terrified, see if people are excited. Let's see what we've got going on. So yeah, we got lots of news here. We got Bitcoin down to $30,000, over 50% down, crash from less than a month ago. We have Coinbase struggling to deal with people buying the dip or with people selling. I don't know, but we've got that going on. We've got Dogecoin down 47%. Yeah, predicted that. Sorry guys, that was a rough one. I don't wish that on anybody, but that's rough. And we've just got all the things happening. It is absolute crypto carnage. So I'm seeing that I'm being heard. I'm seeing that I'm being seen. I'm seeing that people are getting liquidated. I'm seeing all the things. So yeah, guys, this is a really, really important live stream. We just got so much cool things to talk about, so many scary things to talk about. I'm going to be talking a lot about price action. I'm going to be talking a lot about the charts. I'm going to be talking a lot about emotion, managing your emotion. And yeah, here it is. Someone just said, dude, please say something positive. Don't worry, you are going to get lots and lots and lots of positivity out of me. So yeah, this is... This been through this many, many, many times. This is not my first rodeo. This is not my worst rodeo. And so yeah, there's plenty to be positive about. If you got wrecked, learn the lesson. It's okay. I've been wrecked before, and we'll discuss that, managing that, learning from that, and getting and coming out of this the right way. So good stuff. Good stuff. I do want to, so in about 30 seconds, we'll kick it off properly. But a little bit of housekeeping, I want to let you know a couple things. Yesterday, I made probably one of the best videos I've ever made. The comments were absolutely incredible. People just raving about it. It was an open letter to Russell Brand. Russell Brand made a video about Bitcoin, and he wants to solve wealth inequality in the world, to my knowledge. I hope I'm not misrepresenting him there. But the comments were just absolutely incredible. Just so many people saying it was the best video I've ever done and such an important video. And of course, no good deed goes unpunished. It got one of the worst views I've got in, probably months. So if you want to check out that video after this live stream, your mind is probably have attention somewhere else. But I highly recommend you check that out. It was an important one. That was number one. Number two, second point of housekeeping, I have been teasing mercilessly over the last couple of weeks about a video series I've been making about the most important thing in crypto. Something just very, very cool. That video series is mostly completed. Got the first 3 parts completed. They're all loaded up in YouTube, in my YouTube studio, ready to release. I planned on releasing one this morning, and this happened, and I thought you guys would want to hear from me live stream. So I apologize for the delay. I apologize for teasing you so much. But if you are not subscribed to this channel, whatever you do, subscribe to the channel. That is going to be just game-changing game-changing videos coming out over the next few days. So yeah, we've just got so many things. So we've got reports of Coinbase down. We've got reports of Kraken being down. We've got reports of Gemini working but being slow. We've just got all kinds of crazy things going on here. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's head over to, start at Coinbase here, and you can just see kind of the devastation here. Bitcoin down 40% in 7 days, half of that today. Ethereum down 43%, crushing 25% today. You can see it gets worse and worse. Binance Coin, wow, that's down 50% over 7 days. So it took a real beating. Dogecoin, I heard it was down 47%, not according to this, but I read that on Twitter, so I'm going to take this at its face value. DOT down 40%. Litecoin crushed. This was a top 10 coin, down 65%. I don't even know it. Whatever you do, internet computer. Uniswap, just everything down, just absolute carnage. Are there any? Oh, here we go. Polygon up a monster, whatever Polygon is or whatever they do. Solana. Let's see. Are there any? Binance USD. Is that a stable coin? That's a stable coin. Has anything fared well? DAI. That's another stable coin. Has anything not had complete and utter carnage? And the answer is no. Absolute carnage across the board. What was that one? That was another stable coin. So yeah, just all the devastation. Okay, so you're probably terrified, probably scared. So let's go ahead and have a look at it. And so here it was. We broke down critical support here. This I'm on the hourly chart. So where is this? This line here is actually the 200-day moving average. So this, it's not up. It's not actually this line. Where is it? 47. Oh no, I beg your pardon. This line here is actually the 21-week moving average. 21-week moving average. Down here, I believe it was the 38, the 200-day moving average. This little bounce occurred on the 200-day moving average. That was considered the backstop for the 21-week moving average. So the 21-week moving average was supposed to be the floor during this bull run. And the 200-day moving average was supposed to be the backstop to that, just in case that failed. They have both failed. And Bitcoin has plummeted down to 30K. Just a monster drop. So first of all, give me a heads up. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys scared or excited? I want to get a feeling on that one. Scared or excited? I'll tell you some things that I do like to see. So on these sharp drops, I really want to see the bounce up. By the way, what we're going to be doing in this live stream, we're going to be considering the case that the bull market is over and we're done for this. Is the 4-year cycle. You know, that was the peak, and now we go into crypto winter for a couple of years. We're going to be considering that case. We're going to be considering the case that this is bull market interrupted, and we're having a very steep correction, over 50%. But this is actually just the middle of the bull market, and I've got one pissed off, one irritated, but the vast majority of people excited. So that's some good news. That's good news. That means that you guys have been taking some really good advice, maybe from me, maybe from somebody else. But I love the fact that you guys are more excited than not. That is telling me that you guys are a very well-educated crowd. You're doing the right things here. This is exciting. This is opportunity. Maybe opportunity. Maybe this is the first leg down in the beginning of crypto winter. Something to consider. We're going to have a look at that now. Now, if this is the look, I mean, okay, let's make that case. Let's make the case real quick that this is the end. It's just an absolute shit show from here, and this is the beginning of a multi-year crypto winter. The 4-year cycle has just topped out, and we are done. Possibility. I don't think so, but we're going to have a look at it. Arguments for that case. 21-week moving average, destroyed. 200-day moving average, destroyed. What else do we have in favor of that argument? We have the snapping argument, which I made here a little while back. So typically, it has been pretty consistent that the peak happens at a certain number of days past the last halving. That has been really consistent. That was supposed to happen in September. That if you count the days forward from the halving, usually the peak, or this time it should have happened in September. That was one argument for that. We are obviously several months earlier than that, and so it could just be that it happened earlier. Now, in previous cycles, the peak has both happened in December. In 2013, 2017, the peak was in December. And I introduced the concept of snapping earlier. If you've ever done any image editing or video editing on the internet, on your computer, you'll know that when you drag and drop something on the timeline or drag something somewhere, it can snap to a nearest like a regular interval so that you don't have to be so precise with your mouse. And what I argued that, just as an analogy, what I argued is that the Bitcoin price had snapped to December on previous cycles. But maybe in this cycle, it was supposed to happen so far away from December that it didn't snap to December, it snapped back to what would be, I guess, April. April was the peak of 65,000. And so we have that case to explain why the peak happened at this particularly odd time in April. And I even went further and said, the peak often happens in December, which, why December? Arguably it could be something to do with tax season. And funnily enough, April is also probably the other most important date in tax season. Is when people pay their taxes. End of December is when they're calculating their taxes. So interesting concept. That would be another argument to suggest we are into crypto winter. The last bear cycle, let me click this back. I think I'll go back to weeklies here. We'll move around a little bit quicker. And I'll actually go to logarithmic so things can be seen a little more clearer. We see here that the actual peak, what do we have here? This is 2017. So yeah, there was this bull cycle throughout this whole march up. We did not go below the 21-week moving average, and we did not go below the 200-day moving average. There was actually a couple of instances down here we went in the 21-week, but that's it. So when it broke below those things, that was it. That was the sign of a crypto winter. Big check marks to suggest that it is done. However, and we've got the timing, going. What else is there? I had a point in my mind and it fell out of my head. What is another point to suggest where this is going down? Yes. So that was okay. So during this bull cycle, we've never ever had a crash this big, like over 50% like this. Never. But in this one, we did. Running up to 2013, this crash here, it was 80%. So absolutely, we have in the previous cycle we have had a bigger crash. But the argument is that we are supposed to have less volatility the longer Bitcoin goes on. And so we weren't supposed to be seeing any crashes this big. So that would be another kind of argument for, no, this is legit. We're done here. We're done. This is the end of the crypto bull market. There is another argument to say this too, which is that if you look at, and I can't pull it up, but if you look at the exponential, the rainbow chart is one way to say it. People know it by the rainbow chart. People know it by the logarithmic regression. It makes this kind of an arc. And if you connect this point with this point, with this point, with this point, that makes a kind of an arc, which just kind of works out quite well, indicating that we're expecting less and less for the tops to go. Another argument to suggest the top is here is that from this low point to this high point what was it? Well, maybe I forget where we measure from. Maybe measure from the halving. But this bull run was something like a 100x. This bull run was something like a 20x. And so this bull run, we would expect a lot less, maybe something in the order of 3, 4, 5x. So what was it from? This was at 20,000. And I think just at the beginning of the year, January, it was about 1,000. That's what it was. So that was a 20x. This one, from the beginning of the year, it was about $12, went up to $1,200. That was a 100x. This one, it was a 20x. And this one, at the beginning of the year, let's see, what was this at the beginning of the year? Something in the order of 20,000. Bitcoin, December. No, it was already off and marching. Oh no, it was already up to 28,000. And so, okay, by the January. And so maybe we did a 100x, we did a 20x, and maybe a 2x is all we're going to get this time. Okay, they're all the arguments I can think of for why this is the end of this bull market. I don't think it's true, but it's absolutely a possibility. I'm definitely not saying it's not a 0% chance, but I am saying it's something in the order of, let's call it a 30% chance. I mean, I think it's probably really, well, let's hold off on that. Let's make the argument for why it's not the end of the bull market and maybe make a comparison. So, I mean, is there? So, someone's. I saw this in a couple of places, including on the chat. Apparently, China has come out with a new rule blocking crypto trading. So we'll see about that. Maybe there's some China news on Bitcoin. If so, I don't care. It'd be like time number 15 that China banned Bitcoin, banned crypto trading. It's just happened over and over and over again. So they just do that, and then they buy cheap Bitcoin, and then they remove the rule, and then they realize they could never do it in the first place. So it's all a bit of if China's up to their old tricks, then so be it. Okay, so they're kind of the arguments for why it's against it. Now let's go through some arguments for why this is actually just really, really exciting. Time to get into it. And this is just a correction in the bull market. So let's go back to this. I made it in video. I thought it was a very important video, and we're just kind of asking questions, didn't have a lot of answers. The video was late last year, so it's going back 6, 7, 8, 9 months, something like that. And what I pointed out was this, let's go with my brush. From 2013 to 2017, we really learned and understood about the halving and about the 4-year cycle. Just the community. It's like let's call it the YouTube ethos. And we came up with the concept that there was this cup, a very, very famous pattern in charting, a handle, and once you break out of the cup and handle, it's off to the moon. And so what I noticed was the next cycle looked a lot like this cup with the exception of that deviation. The cup, okay, there was a little correction back here, maybe I went past it, and then once we broke out all-time high, off to the races. But right dead smack in the middle of this cup and handle, there was this gigantic run-up. Like the price that should have been the base point should have been around $3,000, and it should have loitered around here and then come back up here and join the cup and handle. Instead, in the space of a couple of months, it rocketed up 5x, $3,000 to $15,000, and crashed back down and rejoined the cup where it should have been. And I found that interesting, and the psychology of this is everybody understood the cup. Everybody knows how it's supposed to work. We learned about it in the previous cycle. We were all anticipating in the next cycle. And so we get to the bottom of the cup, and we're like, it's the bottom of the cup. From here on up, where it's just going up. And people overrun the excitement of the bottom of the cup and handle, and it goes way up to the moon, a massive 5x in the middle of crypto winter, and then crashes all the way back down to basically where it started and corrects. And I made a video asking the question. Let me know in the comments if you remember this. Actually, smash up that like button, by the way, if you're not here, guys. If you're not here, if you're here, smash up that like button, please. I see 1,000 people on your live. That's awesome. This is my biggest live stream yet. Thanks so much. So I hypothesized that given that we've become expectant of what the 4-year cycle is, how is Bitcoin going to slap us about and say, oh, you think you know what I'm doing? I'm not doing that at all. Because people become over-exuberant, become expectant on what they think is going to happen, and then Bitcoin has to slap them about and remind them who's boss. And this was an example, I think, of where Bitcoin slapped the community around and said, you don't know shit. You think we're at the bottom of the cup and it's only up from here? I'll show you. People, and no, you guys got ahead of yourselves. You overran, and we had to crash back down to correct and teach people that lesson. And I hypothesized, it's like, what's going to be different in the bull market? Because I think something was very different in the bear market to remind us that Bitcoin is king, you don't know what the hell's going on, and don't get over exuberant, that you definitely think there's going to be a peak in December, and it's all puppies and rainbows, and volatility is going down, etc., etc. And so I think this is the inverse of that. This move right here, that just doesn't belong in the middle of the crypto winter, this move down here to this degree, this slamming, just doesn't belong in the middle of the crypto bull market. And I think this is Bitcoin reminding us that it's king, we don't know shit, and I'm going to have to slap you about and teach you that lesson. I'm going to try and get rid of this here because it's really cluttering up my chart. And I should be working off a different chart here without so much stuff on it. Really? All right, I'll just get rid of that later. So, reason number one, we have seen it before. In 2013, we've seen this big drop, 80% plus. And by the way, we also theorized about January, February, maybe like February, when Bitcoin shot up 40,000, 60,000 plus. It just looked like it was absolutely out of control. It was on an absolute tear. And okay, question mark, what is that? Like, it looked like it was going too fast for exactly the same reason. The cup and handle thing didn't really play out. The handle never happened. Okay? And so it just pinned its ears back and went ballistic. And a lot of people were hypothesizing it's like it's too much too fast. So maybe we're going to do like 2013 and have a mid-cycle crash. This year, this is a single year, not from there, but from there, from here, this is 1 year, right? From that line to that line, it was 1 year, and in that year, it went up 100x. But in the middle of that year, it went down 80%. From 2060 all the way back down to 60. It was a brutal few months, and it set it up for the end of the year to just absolutely come home. Everything about there's like lots of us were talking about this. In the first 3 months, we were like, this is too much. This is too much, guys. It went absolutely parabolic, and we're gonna have to have a bigger than normal correction, but that will set up for an absolutely epic end of the year, as maybe 2013 is we're going to be more like 2013 and less like 2017. So that's another argument for the bull market. I got another one here. Wow. Yes. This is what I really wanted to. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry, but I am looking at Bitcoin dominance. Here's something else I wanted to talk about, and here's where I really want to get into the psychology of this. Bitcoin dominance, right? This has been, okay, what's your thesis here? What's your thesis? Is there any doubt in your mind whatsoever that cryptocurrency is a big deal and will be getting bigger in the near future? It's going to have more users, going to get bigger, more people are going to use it. Me, I have absolutely zero doubt. There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind that cryptocurrencies are just going to be epic. And it's going to be it's already multi-trillion dollars. It's going to be tens, very soon, hundreds of trillions of dollar market cap in cryptocurrency. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt. There is no doubt in my mind. However, if you're a Bitcoin holder during this Bitcoin dominance plunging from 70 to 30, this was scary, and especially the last few months was terrifying. We had we had the altcoins going ballistic and leaving Bitcoin behind. And although I'm 100% certain that cryptocurrency is here to stay and it's bigger than the internet and all those good things, I'm not as certain that Bitcoin is here to stay. I have some doubt. Not a lot, but some. It could be that people decide that altcoins are way more interesting. Bitcoin's this old, antiquated thing from 2009, and the things that were built after learning all the lessons of Bitcoin in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17 are way better and have way more long-term potential. And during this cycle, if you are mostly in Bitcoin, it's really, really scary. Because altcoins are going up, Bitcoin's being left behind, and you're asking yourself the question, maybe Bitcoin's done, and maybe you have no doubt about crypto, and maybe it's time to rotate into the other things, into the altcoins. And I know this feeling very well because I lived through it here. When Bitcoin went from 96, there's a lot of lag in my computer, down to 35. Altcoins were just going ballistic. It was the middle of the ICO craze. There was this big fundamental flaw with Bitcoin. There was a governance issue. The dev teams were fighting. Should we increase the block size? Should we do SegWit? What are we going to do to manage this? And as a result, Bitcoin's dropped from 95 to 35. And as someone who was in 90% Bitcoin, it was terrifying because the feeling was we were going to rotate out of Bitcoin into altcoins. So what did I do around about here? I thought, nah, I think Bitcoin will figure it out. Bitcoin figure it out. Bitcoin will figure it out. We get all the way to the bottom, and I'm like, man, I'm terrified Bitcoin's going to zero. Altcoins are exploding, and I'm getting none of it. This is stupid. I've got to diversify. And so what did I do right down here at the very bottom? I rotated some profits from Bitcoin into altcoin. Of course, I was overcome with fear. I was terrified. I was not trading from a position of strength. I was scared I was going to get wrecked and Bitcoin was going to go to zero. And what happened? Bitcoin turns around, and it was the absolute worst time to rotate from Bitcoin into altcoins. We haven't seen anything like it for years because Bitcoin just turned around and went back up. I suspect the exact same thing is happening here. Now, I don't know if this is the bottom. It might go down to 35. It might go lower. But I suspect that this is, and you can see there's lots of times where the Bitcoin price pauses on its way down. Okay? And maybe it's just taking a breather here and going down. But what I love to see as a big Bitcoin holder, and more in Bitcoin, less in altcoins, is I loved to see that the Bitcoin dominance went back up to 43. It has been a straight shot down here. And it got really scary because Bitcoin was crashing and altcoins were holding their own largely. And in the last little bit, I noticed that in the last little bit, this is weekly candles, right? So in the last little bit, this is the last week, I've noticed that actually when Bitcoin fell down, altcoins fell down just as much. And that was not happening in the previous week. And now what we see in this week, you can see it at a glance. The altcoins are down way more than Bitcoin. Way more than Bitcoin, generally. And if you, some of these, the relatively small numbers here are just the altcoins versus Bitcoin. Down here, see, Dash is down 36, but against Bitcoin it's down 22. Cardano is down 31, but against Bitcoin it's down 15%. So this is just the common trait. Everything else went down worse than Bitcoin. And I don't mean to, and this is just it's a personal thing, but it also just gives me a reflection of this is typical of the cycles. This is typical of the cycles, this yin and yang. It happens in small doses like this, but then it also happens in big doses like this rotation and yin and yang between Bitcoins and altcoins. And what I loved to see is this final, and it's not final at all, this could just be a stepping stone, but what I did love to see is that the altcoiners chose to rotate back into Bitcoin to some degree. Some just got out and went to cash, but some rotated back into cryptocurrency, into Bitcoin, and saw that as the safe haven. So to me, that was a really, really powerful sign that there is going to be a bounce here at some point in the Bitcoin dominance. That, Bitcoin is not dead, even though you'd be forgiven for feeling that. I know I was like terrified that it was happening. I didn't think it was likely, but I was overcome with fear that it just went down and down and down. And finally, at the end, I FOMO'd into altcoins just so I was diversified. And it turned out to be a horrible investment, but arguably it was a little bit sensible because it made me a little bit more diversified. Thankfully, now I am a little bit more diversified, which I appreciate greatly. And so this fear is a lot less for me now. But if you're all in Bitcoin, just so you know, I've lived through this and I hear it and it's rough. I don't know if it's the end, but I do think Bitcoin is going to come back. It is going to come back. So there's some of the arguments for why Bitcoin is just at a mid-cycle down point. And most of those arguments are kind of just negating the other arguments of why that we're done. And that we're in crypto winter and get over it. This is all there is. Come on now. There you go. But let's talk about some of the on-chain metrics. And I don't have it handy to pull up, and it's not going to be fun for you if I have to go searching through it looking for the charts. But let's look at on-chain metrics. There was recently a little increase in the amount of coins hitting exchanges. And by the way, my hypothesis for what this is that it's mainly Tesla selling, liquidating their Bitcoin. Like a few months ago, they bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and right now I think they're liquidating it. And what that's done is it's killed a lot of highly leveraged people, and there's just causing a cascading event of people getting liquidated. Just chop, 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 liquidated, liquidated, liquidated. Luckily, I was not involved in any of this. I had one small leverage position a little while back with a sensible stop loss, and I got out long ago. So I'm not involved in any of this carnage with my trading money. Of course, with my HODL money, I am, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. That's just long-term, forever HODL money. So I think that's what's happening here. And I'm looking to get in, just so you know, I am looking to get in, and I'm using that Bitcoin dominance chart. I probably will come in again. I want to further diversify because I hate that feeling of thinking, oh my God, I've bet on Alta Vista and actually Google one. So I want to be diversified. And so because of Bitcoin dominance, I think I should just be getting into Bitcoin. I want to come in with a really strong position in Bitcoin. Having said that, I do want to trade from a position of strength. And so from portfolio management, I will be buying both Bitcoin and altcoins when I come in. What I'm looking for to come in is some kind of evidence that we have hit the bottom. And let's go and check at this because the fundamentals on, let's get back to the daily. The fundamentals here I think are absolutely spectacular. And it's going to be worth going back to 2013 and seeing where these levels are. So this could be, we have here the RSI. It's down to 22. Oh, this one, we're on the daily here. RSI is down to 22. We'll have a look in the historical context in a minute, what that means. But this says everything for me. The money flow is down to 10, 12, something like that. It's actually lower, 12, or 10 or 9. This hash ribbon has been firing. For those of you who don't know this hash ribbon indicator, when it flashes blue, usually when it's time to buy, it starts giving you a whole bunch of little greens and then it flashes blue, and the blue is the buy signal. Traditionally, it is an absolutely epic and brilliant metric. This chart is too busy. Let me go here. Let me see if I've still got all of those things on there. I do, okay. This might help the chart move along a little bit. So I've just got rid of the lines up here, which was too many. And so now we're here. I'm going to get to the stochastic in just a moment because it's a really important one. But you'll see this blue line, these blue buy signals were awesome, absolutely awesome. There was one here in the crypto winter, and it was a rise, and then it went down later. But it still was a pretty good, pretty well-timed buy signal. Let's go back. And we'll check it out historically. Sorry, it's so slow. And we're going to take a look. Look at this other buy signal right here at the absolute bottom of the market. Really cool. Let's see if we even got any buy signals in the 2017 run-up. We'll check that out. While it's loading, I'm going to take a moment to read some comments here. By the way, 1,300 people online. Thanks so much, guys. Hit that like button. And while I'm waiting for that, I just want to repeat some housekeeping that I'd said at the beginning. There's this huge crash going on. I get that's got everyone's attention. But the most important thing since the invention of Bitcoin is happening in crypto right now. It's extremely bullish. I've been working for the last few weeks. I've made a 3-part video series on it. All 3 videos are all loaded up in YouTube, in my YouTube studio, ready to hit publish. I was going to release it today, but I thought that you guys would rather hear from me and just help get some commentary on the price today, so I've held back. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. I 100% guarantee you are going to watch this video series, which I'm going to be releasing in the next few days. All right, so what do we got? Some fun stuff. We've got Gemini frozen. We've got a whole bunch of things frozen. Very, very interesting. As in we got Coinbase is struggling, Kraken is struggling, etc. So okay, here we are. We're back in. This represents from here to here. Represents almost the This represents 2 years. So from the beginning of 2016. Right, the price of Bitcoin is $400 to the end of 2017. The price of Bitcoin is $20,000. The hash ribbon signal fired only once, and it was at the bottom of this big drop. It was the biggest drop of 2017. I think it was pretty close to a little over 30%, right? And the hash ribbon fired buy. In the bear market, there was a whole bunch of buys. It's like buy, 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 buy. You're not going to get it wrong. This coming up now is going to be, this hash ribbon thing is going to fire. That's going to be one of the signals I look for that we bottomed out. Hitting 30 was a big deal. Bouncing off 30 was a big deal, and it bounced off it big. It went down to 30, came back up to 37. I've seen it go back down to 35. So that's kind of an argument that we've put in some kind of a bottom. I'm looking for more confirmation. And what I wanted to get to is looking at this confirmation. There's a really important indicator that I like to use in this situation. So once again, sorry, I should have looked at it when I was back there, but I don't want to go back. This RSI and this thing is huge signs that it's oversold. Now, it can typically reach these levels in a bear market. So if it's in a bear market, it's like, okay, this is kind of the deal. If it turns out that this is just an interruption to the crypto bull run, getting the RSI down here to 20, getting this down here to 10 is just absolutely epic. Just absolutely epic. No doubt in my mind, this little period now will be the best buying opportunity of the crypto bull run if it happens. But what am I looking for to see? I'm going to open the stochastic RSI here. The stochastic RSI is a momentum oscillator, and what it does is it's trying to give us signals, and it moves violently all the way to the other end, hangs out there for a little bit, all the way to the other end, hangs out there for a little bit. And in big bull runs, like at the beginning of this year, it can stay above its purple zone, and in big bear markets, it can stay below its purple zone. But what I'm looking for here is when it flips. So you look for two things to happen. Well, really just one thing, because the other thing can't happen without this. We're looking for it to cross back into the purple. When this crosses back into the purple, it is an indication that a short-term trend has ended. Now, it's not saying that this is the end of this and it's going to go all the way up to the moon. But look, when's the last time it did this? Well, actually, the last time it did this was the end of April. So let's go back to the price. I just wanted you to see this oscillator go up and down. And the confirmation is when it goes into the purple. That's when it goes into the purple, and also on the top when it goes into the purple from the bottom. That's your confirmation that we're having a major reversal on the short-term trend. And so this has not happened yet. So we have not had our hash ribbon buy yet. We have not had our stochastic RSI going in yet. And so there absolutely could be some more carnage. But right now, there isn't. Right now, there isn't, and I'm looking for that to be a confirmation that this was the bottom. Remember, I don't really care if I buy it 36,000, 45,000, 55,000. The price I get is not important. What I really want to see is that we have momentum into the next leg of the bull run. Because I believe the next leg of the bull run is going to be legendary. And the further this dip is, the more legendary the dip on the other side is. So this dip is obviously a big one. And just like in 2013, it crashed down 80%. And in the rest of the year, it went from $60 to $1,200. Just something like a 30x. And so I just want confirmation that we're out, and then it can be time to just jump back in. You can try and pick levels like over here and say, okay, was 30 significant? Yeah, 30 was significant. It was the bottom here. And so, that's a pretty relevant and important topic. You can, buy as you get near 30 or as you're bouncing off 30. You can do that. That's one way to do it, and it's probably a pretty reasonable strategy. You might have lost a few times because we blew through some important strategies. You lost a few times here, but at the end of the day, if you're getting this really cheap Bitcoin and this is just the middle of crypto summer, then you're going to be doing very, very well. But I'm waiting for just a confirmation. I suspect this was the bottom, but I'm waiting for confirmation. I want to just see more pieces of evidence. I want to see the stochastic RSI flip up and break into the purple. I want to see the buy button come from the hash ribbons. I want to see a whole bunch of things happen. There's also, I've got to go back to this chart to show it to you. The smaller cycle within the bigger cycle is the 30-day trend. let's see, is this the stuff filling? The 30-day cycle, these vertical blue lines, it's a 30-day cycle, and typically they represent the bottom. And actually it's not 30 days, but it's the last Friday of the month, which represents futures and options expiring. We've still got we've got about a week to go until we get to that moment. So, if we get here, then that's going to be a good, we get the buy signal. The stochastic RSI flips up. The 30-day cycle ends. That will give me some confidence that price is going north, at least to a degree, soon. Time will tell on that. And another big one is that the Bitcoin dominance. It's just gone from 40 to 43, but it's the first time we've seen any kind of positive action in Bitcoin dominance for over a month now. So, I don't know. We've gone through a lot of concepts here. What do you think? Is it crypto winter and we're going into a multi-year bear market? Or is it just a blip a serious blip, so it's a serious crash in the middle of crypto summer? We'll look back at it as a blip, but for right now, it certainly feels a hell of a lot more than a blip. So let me know, what do you think? Buying opportunity or time to run for the hills as we're going into big crypto market? Max has got more viewers than Biden, LOL. So, listen, by the way, thank you. I see 400 likes. Thank you for smashing up the likes, but there's 1,400 people on here. So, guys, smash that like button for me. Let's see. Let's take a look. Actually, let's not do that. I was just going to say, let's just take a look. Is it time to be buying altcoins? All kinds of things. But let's not do that. I'll take some questions now. We've got Bitcoin is forming a W pattern. On what time frame? Is that a short time frame? That's worth it. I'm curious about that. I want to look at the hourly and I want to look at 15 minutes. But I want to get away from this chart because it takes too long to load. And well, there you go. We're posting some green candles. And that is by the way, this deep dive down and straight back up, that is what I like to see in a bottom. That is definitely what I like to see. But we saw it not too long ago right here, and it wasn't the bottom. But I do like to see that in a bottom. And that 30K level is significant. By the way, there is another 30K is precisely 1.5 times the previous all-time high. And in previous cycles, that is a really common place to drop back down to and bounce off of. 1.5, the previous all-time high. I'll go back and show that to you. Let's go, let's do weekly. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the previous all-time high was $1,200. So therefore $1,800 is going to be a really important level of support. So this point right here, what did we get up to? It got up to nearly $3,000 and crushed back down 40% or so, down to $1,800, exactly 1.5 times the previous all-time high. That was the 2013 one. Let's go and take a look at this one. No, that's where we are. Oh, I can't use this. I got to go to this chart. It doesn't go back. It only goes back to 2014, that chart, because I think that was the Kraken exchange, and because Kraken wasn't around then. So now let's go back to this one. Let's go. I'll try and zoom it up. So now we're in the 2013 bull market. And in the weekly, you can barely see it. Maybe I've got to go to daily for you to see it. But right here, the previous all-time high was, what was it? 33. We got to 30. And so 1.5x that takes us to, what, 45, I guess? So this one, well, there was here, right here, yes? Yes. So there's this massive run-up. This is the one. It goes up to 260 and crashes down 80%, not to 45, but to 50, right? So 1.5x is a really, really common, it's happened twice before, there's only been 2 cycles before. It is a place that Bitcoin likes to retrace to past the all-time high. 1.5, the all-time high. It's bounced off 30, it's got confused. By the way, we're on BLX, which is like a day late. So we haven't rebounded to 42,000 in case you're wondering. So 1.5x the previous all-time high is a very, very significant level. And so I would not be surprised at all if that was the bottom. I'm not getting in yet. I'm going to wait for some little bits of confirmation, but that's what I probably think it is. So, and if that is the case, if this is the bottom and the rest, it'll probably be, if we go back to 2013, just want you to know, after the bottom, where are we, 2013, this bottom, it went up a little bit, but it took several months to climb just back to 60,000. Back to that high of 230. But in the last weeks, it quadrupled. I mean, it took like 4 or 5 weeks to quadruple. Once it broke that all-time high, it quadrupled and went from 250 to 1,200 in the space of like 5 weeks. So that's actually a quintuple, isn't it? So it may take some months to claw our way back to 60. But if we do that and we break through 60, the Q4 of this year is just going to be absolutely tremendous. We can see anything. And I still think that Bitcoin is going to hit over $100,000 this year, and I think much higher than that. So this is actually just a tremendous buying opportunity by my best guess, but by no means a guarantee. Hence, I'm waiting for confirmation. Okay, let's get into some questions. If you have some questions, go ahead and ask them now. I'm just going to get into the chats a little bit. And remember, if you have not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe, please. Look at this now. There's a fake contrarian dude account in the chats telling you to send them WhatsApp. That is a fake account, guys. Do not. Is one of the biggest scams in all of YouTube crypto is they steal the YouTuber's logo, they steal their name, create a nonsense account, and tell you to WhatsApp them. That is all bogus. None of the YouTubers ask you to do this, and every single YouTube channel has this problem. Please, please, please do not fall for it. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? Ban the scammer. I'm not going to try and figure that out. It's going to be too hard. What else have we got? Lots of people celebrating privacy. Oh, I'm going to do a video on this. Yes. So I've got a bunch of people, and I know I've got a lot of people from Jeff Berwick, who are subscribers to both my channel and Jeff Berwick's at Crypto Vigilante. And by the way, lots of respect, lots of love. And I know that recently they said Bitcoin's doomed, it's going to zero, and people are going to be loving privacy coins. I'm going to make a whole video on this soon. And I think this thought is misplaced. It's not to say I'm bearish on privacy coins, I'm not. But to the extent that Bitcoin just goes away and people are all in on privacy coins, I'm going to make a whole video on this soon. So make sure you subscribe to this channel because I do not think that is the case at all. All right, what else do we have? Someone's telling me I'm muted. No, I'm not. There's 1,300 people here who can hear me. Who else have you got here? Any other questions here, guys? Anything else you want me to consider? Anything else you want me to talk about? Yeah. So actually, what I did want to do, let me go back to the Bitcoin price. What I did want to do is have a look at the 15-minute chart and just see what patterns are forming in there. So okay, I thought, yeah, there is a W forming there. You're right. I did think that the 21-day, the 21-week moving average would hold, and when it came down and bounced off it, I thought that was probably it. I got into a trade, I had a stop loss just below it, and got pushed out of that trade. I thought the 200-day would hold. I did not get in a trade there. It did not. I think the 30K is going to hold. But you can see a pattern going here. I'm being wrong. So again, as long as you're doing it with your stop losses and you're not getting wrecked, these are good things to do. I'm going to wait and see exactly where this and see exactly what happens. But there is a W forming here, no doubt about it. And we have a neckline here. And so we'll just do a little bit of that. And so if that's there, then we've got this. The price target for the breakout of this W would be back at $45,000. $45,000. So I will say this, if a huge part of this is Coinbase struggling and Kraken struggling and all kinds of weird stuff, China ban, all this kind of good stuff, that's great reasons for a crypto crash, meaning it doesn't really affect crypto. Like in the long term, in the grand scheme of things, there's hundreds of exchanges. If people experience headaches at Coinbase and Kraken, it means zero for Bitcoin. In the short term, great. Oh my God, was it Kraken bankrupt? Kraken. It's like the same thing would happen when Mt. Gox went down. It doesn't matter to Bitcoin. People might suffer. Let's say there's a huge hack at Coinbase. I don't know. We might find out that. I don't think that's the case, but let's just say. And everybody who had their money at Coinbase just got their money stolen. It doesn't matter to Bitcoin. It just doesn't matter. It might cause some short-term pain, but these are no problems. But I don't think those are the problems. I think what's happening is a cascading of liquidations triggered originally by an Elon Musk as Tesla sell-off. And so, yeah, that's what I think. Actually, let me put that back. I'm going to leave that there. I might trade that W, actually. We'll see. We'll see. I might trade that W at the breakout. That's nice. Because I did not trade it when it broke the 200-day, but bouncing off 300, yeah, I can totally trade that one. I can totally trade that one. Let's go back and look at this. Let's compare this to when it broke the 21 week, because it looked like a big dive and then bounced, but then didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it does kind of look like this, doesn't it? Let's see. See, I'm comparing it. Come on. I'm comparing it to this. See, there's this deep dive. We come up about halfway, and then we do this kind of a W pattern here. And then it was a fake out, really, wasn't it? It was a total fake out. You could say that, yep, here was your W pattern. There's your neckline of the W. It broke out, and it was a fake out. It turned around and rolled over. So yeah, I'm not gonna look this. I think 30 was probably the bottom, but I'm not gonna trade it. Again, I don't really care about getting the exact bottom. It's just not the big deal for me. I just want confirmation that we are out, because 21-week moving average got me. 200-day moving average got me. I didn't lose any money, but I did think it would hold, and it didn't. And so yeah. Yeah, I'll ask BitBoy about. Someone's saying talk to BitBoy about knocking out the spammers. I'll chat to him. We were chatting in the thing, and he said he's got a cool solution for it. So I'm not sure if he's shared that with everybody yet. Most of the YouTubers are in a chat together, and we do strategize to how to kill the spammers, because we don't like them robbing you for sure. It looks bad on us too, because it looks like we did it. But really, we just don't want you guys to lose money. So we do talk about it. And if BitBoy has figured it out, then we'll definitely get in there, and I'm sure he'll share it with me, and I'll be happy to implement it as well. Okay. Did Russell Brand ever respond to the video? I doubt it, or else my video would have got way more views. Yes. Will it bring? How did you configure your BTC view chart? Oh, there's lots of different ways to do that, and I've got lots of different charts. You can see here, 1, 2, 3. I got 3 different Bitcoin prices just to show different things. So yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's fine. When would I sell? That's a good question. The answer is I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I'm not selling. That's not to say you shouldn't. Again, it's about portfolio management. So I'm in a position of strength. At present, I'm in no leverage trades. I'm just holding. And I've seen this shit a lot of times. Like Bitcoin crashes, 50%. Many times I've lived through it, and I just held through it, and it served me well to hold. But it's about portfolio management. I have a number of successful businesses. I have a number of successful investments, and I've got cash flow coming in. So I'm trading from a position of strength. I don't need my Bitcoin profits to do anything. I have other profits. So as a result, I'm trading from a position of strength. And so when things go down like this, when you're trading from strength, when it goes down like this, I don't even entertain the idea of selling, because this is like, oh, this is selling low. This is stupid. I only view these as buying opportunities. So I'm not considering selling, but it's not to say one should not consider it. Again, a story I told a few videos ago, I told 2 people in the same week, Bitcoin was at $60,000. I told one to buy and one to sell. And that was about portfolio management. One person was like 99% in crypto. And if they didn't sell and they didn't have good cash flow in other businesses, if the price comes down to here, they are absolutely beside themselves. They are absolutely wrecked. And now they've got to sell at 37 when it was just 60. And that sucks. So I told them to sell a small portion and cover yourself like for a good year of expenses, so that if there's a correction, you don't have to sell. And so now they're in a position of strength and they don't have to sell here at 30. At the same time, I told someone to buy at $60,000, and like I thought there was a reasonable chance that we were going to break out and head up, but I absolutely knew this could happen. But why did I tell them to buy? Because they didn't have any, and they couldn't. I don't think you can afford to not have cryptocurrency, because it can just go parabolic. And what that means is you lost like 90% of your wealth, because there is eventually we're all going to crypto. And if you're not in crypto, it'll every now and again Bitcoin just goes berserk and goes up 6x. And in those months, in my opinion, all of your other wealth just got slashed by 6. It was by 6x, so like slashed by nearly 80%, over 80%. That's what that means. And so I don't think anybody can afford to not have crypto. If you don't have crypto, the time to buy is now. If you are crazy over the top, and then there's a whole bunch of things about portfolio management. So, but answer your question, I'm not selling. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, actually, I'll do that here. Let me go into. I just want to. I had a look at the Bitcoin news here. Let's just see what's happening on Google and on Twitter real fast. So yeah, I saw all those already. I want to get into Twitter here. That's irrelevant. Black Wednesday crypto, yeah, sure was. Bitcoin price has dropped below that, yeah, sure has. What else? For all the freak out about this Bitcoin dip, oh yeah, that's that. People buying, fall from 2017. I remember when Bitcoin traded above $6,000 for the first time, and I had my only pang of regret that I didn't own any. Yeah, okay, nothing. So yeah, nothing actually super interesting. That's a bullish sign. Wells Fargo to offer actively managed Bitcoin product. Big banks coming in. What else? All right, so nothing actually super interesting in the news sphere. Just is what it is. So yeah, okay. There's some questions. Should I buy right now? Yes or no? Someone wants to know. And I can't give that. That's the financial advice. And so, yeah, I'm not going. It's illegal for me to do it. I can't say if you should buy. To answer that, you need to know about your situation, your portfolio, your whatever. So I can't answer that question. I can talk about the price of Bitcoin, and I suspect that was the low. But I suspected that when we hit the 21-week moving average, and I suspected that at the 200-day moving average. And that was just hours ago that that got proved wrong. So time will tell. Whether or not you should buy or not depends on portfolio management and a whole bunch of factors, your situation. What the price of Bitcoin is going to do, that was time to tell. And the answer is, I don't know. I am not getting in right now. I am waiting for more confirmation. And so, yeah, I'm holding off. I need more. I want more. I want to see. I'm not saying I'm going to wait for all of these. This is the 15-minute chart, so ignore it. But I'm waiting for the stochastic to go up on the daily. I'm waiting. I want to see the hash ribbon. I'm not saying I'm going to wait for all of these, but these are all of the things I'm looking at, waiting for some confluence. Yeah. All right. I think you guys have more questions, but no, this doesn't seem to be. Somebody can't get into their account at BlockFi, can't do any account trades while my account is being pillaged. Can I tell you your thoughts on Ethereum? Yeah, I've got plenty of good things to say about Ethereum. I think that Ethereum is awesome. I own plenty of it. So yeah, I'm hearing Coinbase is working better now. Have I ever worked on Wall Street? No, I have not. I've never worked on Wall Street. Never worked on Wall Street. What else have we got? Elon tweeted, Tesla has diamond hands. I wonder if that's true, but yeah, he's ETH 2.0 and a Cardano. I think Cardano's got crushed today. But anyway, I really like Cardano as a project too, FYI. People are asking, look, I think, let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's showing this big thing too. Oh, Ethereum, but it doesn't work on Ethereum. This hash ribbon signal, they just got the buy, but I don't think this signal works as well on Ethereum as it does Bitcoin. It's actually to do with the hashing power of Bitcoin, which is proof of work. Ethereum still is proof of work, but it's a little bit suspicious. So I wouldn't go too far into that. So I wouldn't concern myself with this buy signal coming through on Ethereum. Pardon me. So yeah, look, long term, I'm very, very excited by Ethereum. I think it's a cool project. But again, compared to what this is the end of altcoin. I think it's the end of altcoin season, and time will tell. It might go a little bit further, but time will tell. But I think Bitcoin season could be at the end. It's a total. I'm waiting for confirmation on that. I love to see this green candle because I want it to be the end of altcoin season. I want it. Look, yeah, what did Bitcoin dominance went up to 45, but it's back down now. So yeah, I want to see Bitcoin dominance rise for my personal sake. Well, kind of another thing. It's one of the things that I'm looking for confluence that we've hit the bottom. Because I think it will be, I wanted to see, if Bitcoin let us down, and I want Bitcoin to lead us out. And that will be reflected in the Bitcoin dominance. And that'll be one of the signs I'm looking for that. So to get you probably won't have proper confirmation of that until Bitcoin's back above 45, maybe even 47. But I love to see this big green candle, even if it is just a wick. I like to see that. All right, guys, I am going to cut it off there. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Remember, I've got the killer video series loaded up, ready to release. I was going to release it this morning, but then this happened with the price, and I thought you guys would want to hear me. And so, yeah, that's all good. You definitely want to be subscribed if you are not. All right, guys, take care, and I will see you soon.